Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network. On the gate.
Sound.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, I can't hear shit.
What up?
What up? Welcome to On the Gate podcast. I'm your host, Geo Perez, and I'm here with Derek's full replacement, Dave Temple from No Need for Apologies, right here on Gas Digital. He didn't agree to it. I'm asking him right now. Can you replace Derek? You're the only comic I know that has a criminal
if you can
past.
replace Derek.
I've also worn my my heroin shades just in case. Like
if that outfit was like old and dirty, that'd be the perfect heroin addict outfit. The hoodie under the jacket, that's heroin apparel.
Oh yeah, this is like Bruno Mars went out, had a good night, and now it went bad after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like you been out for 2 weeks, Bruno? Yeah.
It's just the came home dreads.
Mm-hmm.
If you're eating ice cream in the middle of the day as an adult man, that's when everybody be like, he's on heroin.
Yeah. But no, Derek is going to be back next week. Dave.
Yeah, we were just talking about people having spiritual awakening, so maybe that's what he's been doing. Right?
Yeah, he took ashwagandha. Well, how do you pronounce that shit?
Ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha.
That's a
Ayahuasca.
supplement.
Ayahuasca. That shit.
Yeah.
Wow, you said it so wrong. I forgot how
Well,
to say it. That was
ashwagandha
wild.
is like a supposed testosterone booster.
Oh,
Like it's like
okay.
a
And then what was that
supplement.
said? Now I forgot what that.
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got fucking.
Ashwagandha.
Yeah, I got fucking sidekick brain. I got Nokia sidekick brain. My shit is dumb.
I want a Nokia sidekick.
Why you feel the sidekick is for dumb people?
No, because it's compared to a smartphone.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which you had AM Messenger on it.
Are you crazy? I remember I thought I was going to get a sidekick and be done with computers. Like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, just put this in my office. I'm good.
God. You set it up. Like,
It takes 5 minutes for a fucking page to load up on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like if I wait 5 minutes, I might see a titty.
That's funny. That's all you're doing on there is looking at tits.
That's what internet. Listen, what happened to that village when they gave them Starlink? Within 3 months, all the guys in the village were addicted to porn.
Oh, shit, man.
Internet only exists now the way it does because of porn.
Well, they've always been the leading industry. And, like, when it came to, like, Flash, how do you call it? Flash, when you play videos. They were the ones that helped develop that.
Yeah.
Like, even getting videos onto mini discs, Blu-ray, or... What
They
was
had
the
the, dude, I remember they tried to make the porn Choose Your Own Adventure DVDs.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like
it was
Goosebumps?
Yeah, you could like change the angle with your remote.
Yeah.
And they all,
that's voyeuristic.
Yeah, it was very fucking, who the hell is doing all this while they're jerking
Well,
off?
it seems
There's
like
people that are
it
into
seems
that.
like they gather data because now all porn is strictly like POV now, like one angle, and it's usually
Yeah,
like
they're
front-
setting
I think
it up
that's
for the
I think that's
Oculus.
just cheap to produce.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's what the main
They
thing
can
is.
literally hold the camera.
yeah,
They don't need a
yeah,
third
yeah.
person.
Or wear the rare bands with the cameras in them.
Yeah, I've seen
They
people
just
with
do
like
that, yeah.
earpiece cameras and shit like that, where you're just like, well, this is
That really takes you out of the moment.
right. I want to see third person. I want to watch two people have sex.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
don't want to pretend it's me.
Yeah. It is kind of weird, though, because it's like you're almost standing in the room watching it from that angle.
Yeah.
So that's the cuck angle. So, like, POV, you're not the cuck. You're
guess so.
you're the guy.
I
Yeah,
just
but it really takes me out of it when they've clearly got a phone on a gimbal. And
Yeah.
then they move it a little bit. I'm just like, what do you...
They got the fish lens, the fishbowl lens.
What's
Yeah,
it
because-
called, like a tripod?
Yeah, because you know...
The selfie stick.
He's in
You mean the
mix,
selfie
and he's like,
stick.
let's get this thing.
He's like, let's just do that. And it's just like, I just realized like how much I would now be bored of me filming. Like, I don't know, like I've like filmed sex like a couple times when you're holding your phone, you're just like, I'd rather just kind of enjoy getting my dick sucked right now.
Yeah.
oh yeah, absolutely,
It's like,
Do
absolutely.
you think you guys could have sex very easily with someone filming it? Someone
Yeah.
in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
know.
if I'm into the girl enough, and like we worked up. That's the one thing I knew. If I did porn, I would lose. What do you call it? I would lose the area of reality because I would spend time before the set, fucking kicking it with the girl and developing
good
a
for you.
vibe, and then like we're going. You know what I mean?
She just calls you a clinger and fucking leaves.
Asking personal questions. She's like, no.
This guy thinks I like him. Does he know you guys paid me?
Dude, that's why I never
You
did
just show up with
improv.
flowers to the casting
Wait,
couch.
why?
Because I thought the girls liked me. 3. I didn't know when the scene ends. I'm like, so I'm the guy that would come up to you after and be like, you want to get a drink or what? You know what I mean?
And you're talking improv, like on stage.
Yeah, when they do like a little scene together, and I'm like, holy shit, let's fucking nerd.
In a regular movie.
Right. So I'm like, and the funny thing was, I remember when I went to like 3, I went to improv 3 times, and this girl was like, how come you didn't come back? She saw me later. She's like, how come you come back? You were really good at it. I was like, I can't handle that, right?
I think they really like me.
Right, and she ridiculed me, told me how fucking childish I was and how I need to get that fucking fixed and blah blah because you're gonna hold yourself back in life. And then like a month or 2 later, that whole shit went down with that dude at UCB getting banned for asking girls. Well, I guess drinking girls on the table after.
Every improv institute.
I say it all the time. People don't like to hear it from me, but like I say, even with teaching, I have a degree in math and econ. I don't teach because I know I'd be fucking and fighting students. I do not have that kind of self-control.
Interesting.
I know myself.
Do you think you're not okay? Do you not think that you're enough? So I've had this theory for a while that I think the reason why teachers end up fucking students is like you don't leave school long enough, and then you all of a sudden are back. Like I remember there was a teacher when I went to Pacific High School for a year.
Wait, are you justifying pedophilia right now, motherfucker?
Here we go.
No. I'm saying it's not acceptable, but I think you'd see less of it if you didn't put a 23-year-old right back into high school. Because you've just been in college and then you're right back in.
I think even as an older gentleman, especially once you get older, I've seen girls take advantage of it. They're just fucking around. They're young girls learning and exploring their sexuality.
Yeah.
I've seen my friend do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And as an older man, it's like, especially in a school, like if it's like a failing school district, you begin to judge all these kids like, well, you're a loser anyway. You're not going anywhere. I might as well get something out of this. You know what I mean? Like that, I have no morals that way. You know?
I don't get paid enough for
the
this
ladies
shit.
getting gangbanged, but okay.
No, it's like that.
Oh, now shit like that gets filmed and then passed around the school.
Right.
Because the one guy, she's distracted with 8 cocks. She's not looking at the 9th cock recording her. And then all of a sudden it goes in a group chat. Shit gets around. Happens in almost every
You
school.
didn't see him
I'll
put
do
the
you
phone
one
in a
better.
gimbal? Come on.
Dude,
I'll
my,
do you one
my
better.
daughter's in middle school, and they had called her mom and told her that some girl, and this is like a
Wow,
fucking
I thought the story was gonna
13-year-old
go
girl.
a different way
No,
for a
nothing with my
second. I
daughter.
was like, oh my
But a
God.
girl's like nudes. This is like a fucking 13-year-old girl. Her nudes was going around through the students.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like shit like that happened back in the day before. But it was
What do
through
you think? What do you think the conversation in like a Florida women's county jail is right now? Just so
What
many.
is the smell? I can tell you, I can't forget the smell of a woman's dorm in jail.
But there's so many
It's
women
burned
who
into
are
my
waiting
nostrils.
for trial for sleeping with students in
Yeah.
Florida county jails right now.
But
You know what I
the
mean?
thing
To
is,
the point where
all those teachers that get caught, the female teachers, they're all hot.
yeah.
So like you, and then also too, they're doing the kid a favor. That's like an ego boost.
I
I mean,
It's
we've
like-
had this
Can't say that.
conversation.
Yeah,
we've had
fuck
this
that.
conversation a
Everybody
lot.
says
Because look,
Not a favor.
I had a-
this is
I had a
conversation
cousin.
as old as the Board of Education.
No.
I had a cousin who got blown by a teacher, and he was like using it like he was like young. He was like 12.
Right.
And
God.
like he was like I remember I brought a chick around and he was like, does she know I'm not a virgin? I was like, what are you doing, dude?
Right.
Does she know I fuck Miss Krabappel?
Yeah.
Huh?
Seriously.
That's what's the other thing is
That's
like
where they
the
get caught,
foolish
though.
part of a teacher of thinking that this kid is going to keep their mouth shut.
Especially now.
Right, and that's where you
Especially
realize,
now.
like, oh, I'm an idiot. I deserve to be in jail, not because I'm a monster, because I'm an idiot.
It just came up. My TikTok just came up with that. I don't think it was Florida, but it was somewhere, not in New York. And she got like pulled over. The police met her.
I
at
saw
her
that
home.
camera. Yes, I saw that body cam video.
And that was weird. 'Cause
And
she was in denial for a
she was in the
long
car with
time.
her husband. That's what's so wild about it. So your eyebrows went up. You're not.
I
familiar
never
with
heard
this
this
video.
one.
You're not familiar with this video
No,
either.
no.
There's a body cam video of a woman. Literally, she's just driving home from the grocery store, and the cops pull her over as she's pulling into the driveway of her beautiful home. I think it's
With
a
her
2-bedroom
lovely husband.
garage. You know what I mean? And one SUV in the driveway, another one. And like her husband's in the car with her, and she's, hey, how you doing? Is there a problem? And they're like, yeah, and it's shady because they're like, they already knew what they were taking her down for.
It wasn't
They-
interesting their lingo. They were
Yeah.
like, we can't talk about it right now.
Yeah, just come with
My
us,
only
just
job right now is to
cooperate.
take you to the
Right.
precinct. And she's like, what's it for? He's like, my only job is to take. And I was like, whoa.
And the funny thing is, she's begging the entire time. Well, can my husband be here? Because I'm not comfortable with this. And they're like, all right, if you want, he's gonna follow us to the station. And yeah, get to the
Do you
station.
think
and
she
they're like,
knew? from the start?
I don't think she suspected that stop was about that at
Okay.
all, because it was a pretty fucked up way to pull her off
Yeah.
the streets. You
Well,
know, they
what do
pulled
you
her over.
even? Oh, hold on. You commit a crime like that you know people are getting caught for. Like, what else was she doing that she thought?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
people
She
get
was
Was
covered
there
in
heroin in her
nails.
pussy? Like, what?
That's what I'm saying, bro. They didn't even pull her over like a it's not even like she ran a red light or anything.
No, they
Yeah,
like
yeah.
met her in
They
the
just
like, hey.
they ran her plates and was like, this is the girl that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And they
And they
did her
just,
the
like-
favor in not telling her in front of the husband.
Right. They just like, as she was pulling into her driveway on some, I did nothing wrong. What happened? And they're like, oh yeah, routine traffic
yeah.
stop. Do me a favor. Could you cut the car off and step out back and talk to me?
It was a
And, you know,
teacher.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It probably went through the back of her mind where she's just like, fuck, he opened his
To be
mouth.
real though, like I'm with you. Like she is in such denial and like has probably justified it so much in her head that she's like, what's going on?
Well, yeah, that's
What's
all of
wrong?
us. That's all of us. You know, whatever it is that, like, I mean, most of us have been jumping the turnstile for years. And then now that they started cracking down, you're almost looking at a cop like, are you fucking serious? Is there no real crime going on in the city? Like, really? This is
Well,
what
so,
you...
hold on. I lived here through multiple waves of you can jump the turnstile because I've lived my whole like. So it's like you could jump the turnstile until I was like 15, and then all of a sudden Giuliani started fucking knocking heads.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, that's gone. And then it was like De Blasio was like, I remember being like, oh, you could just jump the turnstile again? And like then during COVID, the trains barely ran. And I was just like, well, I guess I jumped the turnstile again.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I
and there
saw
was no
some kids
cops
getting a
down there.
ticket and I was like, all right, I'll pay for this.
Right.
It does work on, dude.
I was always
Thursday-
respectful enough to not hop the turnstile at my home stop though. Like at least this run of it. Because I was like, this nice old man has like helped me a few times. I'm not gonna just blatantly steal in front of him.
Yeah. I
Dude,
had a
that's
guy...
the best way to control somebody, though. You hit their pockets with fucking fines and tickets. Because I'm driving Thursday, right? And I'm just going through regular suburban, rush hour. And when you go through like those areas where it's like a stop sign on every block? Yeah. So there's a bunch of cars. Everybody's like rolling through the stop signs, stopping. So I rolled through the first stop sign, and then I realized there's a cop behind me. So I'm like, fuck. So the second one, I fully stop. But when I go through that one, lights go on.
Yeah.
So the fucking female cop, so I'm like, oh, I'm getting a ticket.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm talking my way out of this. She comes up and she goes like, oh, I pulled you over because I noticed on that stop sign back there you were on your phone. And then I was like, fuck. She's like, I saw you looking down. She's like, I see your phone is on the mount, but you also have a phone on your lap. And I look down and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I usually have that wherever, if I know I'm getting
this
pulled over.
just
a phone-
happened?
This was last Thursday.
Well, that's, I
Thursday.
mean, yeah, 2 phones out is probable cause, right?
Well, if I would have thrown that phone
It's
on
reasonable
the floor,
suspicion.
well, she saw what I was looking down at. If I would have thrown the phone on the floor, got rid of that
It was
phone,
POV porn?
it was definitely. No, even worse. I was using the calculator. I got pulled over for using the fucking calculator.
Like, you doing your
I didn't even
taxes and driving?
It's like, what do you calculate? I'm like, my
Fucking
DoorDash
nerd,
wages.
go to jail. Dork.
So
He's doing Sudoku while he's driving.
Yeah.
she
I
called
couldn't
me
wait
an
to get home
Asian
to do
slur.
Wordle, officer.
It's tax season, dude. No, so she gives me the fucking cell phone ticket. So
much
now
is
I'm
that?
paranoid. I'm driving paranoid.
Like 200.
No, a
it's
cell phone ticket?
Yeah.
No.
And it's points, right, too?
It's 5 points.
5 points.
Your insurance goes up. Because I got this before
damn.
4 years ago. My insurance went from $190 to $320 a month. From that. It's like $2,000 they add on to your premium for getting a cell phone ticket. 5 points and the fines you pay. But you get a lawyer, you pay $400 to the
Yeah,
court,
yeah, yeah,
$400
yeah.
to the lawyer.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's a racket. That's how they
I
make money.
haven't had a car in at least 5 years now, and every time I get out of an Uber, just pissy drunk and walk in my house, I'm just like, yeah, I'm winning.
Oh,
I'm
I
killing
stopped
it.
drinking for that reason.
So that's why.
Dude, oh, and it
It was
gets
also
better.
court ordered. Let's not pretend.
Right.
Then, knock on wood, never got DUI. Knock on wood. Thank God.
Yeah, me neither.
I never will because I'm done drinking. But it gets better. So Saturday, I'm thinking I'm driving careful. And when you go into you see like a turning lane, but you're like, the car in front of you can legally get in the turning lane, but you can't. So you get in a little early.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I do that and then kind of forget to put on my turning signal. So I put it on halfway making the turn. And as soon as I do that, I look up, cop comes behind me.
Damn, bad
This
luck.
is Saturday. The lights go off, and I'm driving, fucking pull over, comes up, and I already knew. I was like, fuck, bro, another ticket. He asks for my license, and then he's walking
I'm
away.
sorry, he did what for your license?
He asked for my license.
That's not what you said.
What'd you say?
What'd I say?
Yes.
He asshole for my license.
He asks for my license. I'm sorry, what?
There was,
He
like,
asked
extra
it.
syllables.
He asked it me twice for my license.
I said,
He
it's
asked-
It
changing
might have
as
been
we go.
accident.
It's changing.
It might have been
I like
accident the
this.
first
This
time.
evolution is great.
he asked. I know I still said it wrong, right?
Ah, this is funny. It was definitely a 2-syllable word. I'm like,
Then it went 3 for a second. That was pretty cool.
Yo, as soon as he asked for my license, he walks away, and I was like, I remember I had a PBA card. And I was just like, oh, wait, officer.
Oh, God.
Walks back to the car. I was like, I got a friend who told me to give this to the cop if I ever get pulled over. So he looks at it, walks away. Comes back like fucking 15 minutes later with the 2 tickets in his hands. And I'm like, fuck. And he's like, give me the card. He's like, oh, by the way, your name is not on this card. So he's like, but I did you a favor. I didn't get you for the speeding and the other stuff. I just gave you the shoulder and the fucking the no signal shit.
yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus.
This all Long Island?
Fucking Christ. Yeah, Suffolk, same precinct. I'm like, I can't get a fucking break, bro.
It's wild, bro. Yeah, man.
As soon as I had my
Sucks.
10-year anniversary of not dealing with cops, this shit happened.
Oh, congratulations, though, man. Congratulations on that. Yeah, that's always a fun thing. Yeah, I am getting that where, like, my heart doesn't skip a beat now when I run into cops. The most recent time that it did happen, and it was funny because I was about to jump the turnstile. I was going to do the New York half marathon. So I'm getting on the train at like fucking 4 a.m. So it's already like no one down there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was just about to jump. And something told me, like, walk down all of the turnstiles. And I'm glad I did because somehow the way they were standing, there were just
That's why they do
4
it.
lady cops that were like just covered by the
Yeah, they
the
know where to
structure,
stand.
right?
They stand on the side.
And it was also a funny thing to me because it was also like, well, it's 4 lady cops. Like, if they were to be like, all right, we're giving you a ticket, I'm like, I might have to fight this one to the death. You know what I mean?
It looked like Andre the Giant fighting the
Here.
midgets
Yeah.
in the
Here
70s.
and now.
He's like,
Right, I'm like,
I can knock out 2 before the other one reaches
Yeah.
the stun gun.
Like, all right, I figure if I push one on the tracks, you know what I mean, and then the other one will go to save her. Right.
Oh, that went through my mind while she like was walking back with the ticket. I'm like, I should just go in reverse and run her ass over.
Shh, did you see the cop in Salt Lakes? No, Kansas City.
Oh, the one that got ran over?
By the guy on the ATV?
Yeah, like she was
Like,
on the
he's
side.
like, he's on a 4-wheeler, obviously legally riding on the street, and the cop is trying to get him to stop. And he like backs up, and it yanks the cop down, pulls him on the ground, and then he puts it in drive. And he goes to like the cop goes to stand in front of me, just like does a wheelie, and it just knocks the cop back. He just hits his head on the sidewalk, and
Good
then
for that guy.
while on 2 wheels, he just rolls over the cop's limp body and just
Nice.
takes off. And like everyone has to get in their cars and give chase. It is
Holy
like
shit.
wild, man. It's crazy out there, man. Crazy out there.
As soon as I pay up, the day I pay those fines, I'm just gonna watch cops getting hurt. That's just how I'm gonna feel good about it.
Yo,
too.
I'm not gonna lie. The body cam footage it's kind of changing me to their side now. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like I watch enough body cam footage of them dealing with the bullshit calls where I'm like, okay, no wonder they're on 10 for
All the
everybody
time,
to
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
like
if you're
the
dealing
bullshit
with like a criminal
domestic
case, yeah, if it's
dumb
something
shit
serious.
all day long, and then when you finally get like some real action, you're already pinned up, ready to go.
It's also like everybody's just lying to your face all fucking day. It's got to like just cue you
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Also, everyone just hates you.
Yeah.
They talk about that all the time. It's just like they feel the hostility from everyone.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
There's no respect.
You
And it's like-
did you not know that before you took that job? Though?
That's what.
Like,
Okay,
it's some-
so that's
on
what's
some
interesting.
level?
You wonder what made people go, because even when you see the signs in the subway to be, hey, we're hiring for NYPD
'Cause
sign
they
on
need
bonus,
people.
and you're like, yeah, I'm doing pretty bad, but not that bad that
Right.
I would scan that QR code. Like, or the same thing for the people that they ask you, do you want to work in the jails? You want to work at Rikers Island? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that bad.
But some people feel that that shield is actually a shield, and when they realize that there's people out there that look at them like, I will knock you the fuck out like you were working at a fucking coffee shop. To some people, that badge doesn't stop them.
Right.
So when they get on the field and they realize that they still could get fucked up, and nobody cares that they got a gun and badge, that's when it starts fucking with
I
their
feel
head.
like cops
Because they think they're gonna get the respect automatically, and when it doesn't come, they're like, that's when they turn into an asshole.
I feel like cops kind of like are like realize that now that like for some people that just keys them up. But I was like thinking about this recently. Like I was saying, like whatever. When's the first time you had to deal with a cop that was like clearly younger than you, and you're just kind of like, just give me the fucking ticket. Enough of you.
That's why I stopped
Like-
committing crime, because the people
Yeah.
arresting me were getting younger and younger than me, and I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that changed your life.
Yeah, I'm also scarred from the old police treatment that when I do watch body cam videos, I'm like, fucking hit him over the head already.
how come
What are
you-
you doing?
you
Why are
guys
you
aren't
going
being
back and
dicks?
forth with this guy?
Yeah.
Criminals definitely got softer, though.
Yeah.
They got lucky because the body cam footage, half the shit that happened to me, like, I think half of my arrests, cops beat my ass. And if they had body cam footage, I would have had crazy lawsuits.
Oh,
'Cause
I
some
got
of them
one.
I was a minor.
I got let
Yeah.
out. I got let out by the Union Square train station because these cops fucking cuffed me and then started walking me, and they like beat me up. Like they fucking slammed my head into a mailbox and shit, and fucking they were walking me to the precinct. I was like, you guys are walking me to the precinct? You guys know I'm gonna be sober in the morning, right? When I see the judge, I'm gonna be sober, and I'm gonna tell them your names and that you did this. And they had another cop write me a discount ticket
Oh, God.
so that their names weren't on the tickets. It
Yeah.
was fucking crazy.
Yo, Chris, you know what I do want to talk to you about? I had texted Harrington about this. So you guys go to the midget wrestling stuff.
Oh, he told you
What
about
is
the
this?
thing?
It's always, Rachel
told
has
you
a
about
thing
the
for
thing that
doors.
happened?
No, I
Oh,
said I
okay.
knew
So
this
no,
was gonna
I
come
heard
up.
about it a little bit because the
First of all,
night
they
that
don't
you
like-
went to see it,
Uh-huh.
apparently the next night they were in Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah.
And I was in Wilmington, and
I
I saw them the next night. So he was telling me about the Elvis guy getting kicked in the head by like some drunk
in
guy.
the fucking head.
Was
Okay.
this like a
We had
traveling
to.
crew?
We literally
A little
had
person
to,
got kicked in the head?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
no.
had to.
I think
break-
you can say midget because they call it midget wrestling. I
No,
don't
they
know.
call it micro wrestling. It's the micro
Fuck,
wrestling
really?
So the
federation,
micros.
yeah.
We'll call them the
Ah,
micros.
Some of the guys,
You said
some
it
of
a
the guys
lot.
are fine.
You said it 3
Some of the guys are
Okay.
fine with that. By the way, now all of our uncles in the '70s don't look so bad. They call each other that.
Yo, bro, so this is exactly what happened to me, right? I went to the thing. I went to it, right? And that's the way they explain it to me. Do you want to go to midget wrestling? Fine, yeah. I didn't buy the tickets. The tickets were there. We got them. Okay, we're going.
It's fun.
And you should have
Yeah.
known, but you are like, they're always in like the back of like a cube storage or something. Like they're never like in a legitimate arena. You know what I mean? It's like
This was like a big show. I could.
it
show
was
you.
a big show,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
telling, we were in a
was
we
a
were in
little
a
show,
storage
guys.
unit
Little show.
parking
It was
lot.
a big
I got
storage
you.
unit.
It was
were
a big show, little
We were
show.
in the
was a
storage
big,
unit,
little
like
Big show.
storage.
Big little
which was great because they sold a lot of hoodies that night because it
Yeah.
got cold fast. But like,
A lot of
Smart.
extra smalls.
Smart.
right,
Now we're
right.
getting entrepreneurial.
So,
They get 100% of the door. They have a good deal with the venues. They get
Absolutely.
100. I know. I talked to the venue owner where me and Harrington were, and they get 100% of the door. He's got to pay for their hotels.
Yeah.
It's really they're just
and I
getting
think we
food and
paid.
beverage.
I think we paid like $30 per ticket. You know what I mean? And so
It was probably
It
Yeah,
would have been
there.
funny if they're like, yo, you got to pay us $30 in candy.
Well, here's the crazy thing.
Peppermints.
This was crazy. Like, so I'm in there and it's outdoors, so we're smoking. I'm fucking smoking blunts, right? I'm chain smoking blunts, watching midget wrestling, having a good time. I fucking got recognized. Out of all places, apparently we
You felt
share-
somebody tugging on your leg. You looking around, you're like, who the fuck is this? You look down.
But we share the same fan base. Somebody's like, yo, are you Dave Temple? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yo, dude, you're funny as shit. I'm like, all right.
Nice. That's
Then the
nice.
guy went over to the fucking table by the ring and they like shouted me out. You know what I mean? Oh, we got a comedian in the building, Dave Temple. So I'm like, all right, it's cool. I'm having a good time. But like, then someone came over with a camera and asked me to do a drop. You know what I mean? Which by now I'm really high and I don't give a fuck. Yo, midget wrestling, we out here 2025, getting it popping. Do the damn thing, Wilmington, Delaware, right? Like I'm just being an idiot, right? And then the paranoia kicked in where I'm like, oh shit, did I just ruin my career? You know what I mean? Like I'm on camera going like, midget wrestling is the shit. I endorse this 100%. And I'm like looking around to see like, is this okay? Like I kind of wanted to run it past a little person. None in attendance. Like
yeah,
it's
no.
only normal sized people watching this thing, and that's when I'm like, oh no, this is wrong. this is wrong.
Well, I kind of felt the same way, but it's also like the guy who got Zach Presley, who he got assaulted, and I talked about it on my podcast.
Is he a little person?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Harrington literally had to. I had to get in between an adult man and a little person who was trying to fight all of these guys. And
You're like lopsided. Yo, guys.
here's
guys.
where my
A
prejudice.
bunch of he was.
He
I don't know
well,
what
he had
I was
already
about to say, a
fought
bunch
the
of
one
adults.
guy, and then the dude, the Jamaican dude, Jamaican Joe. By the way, who I think
Joe.
could have taken this guy because he's like jacked. He's little, but he's jacked, and he could. We had him hitting a fucking fire chief with a pillow fighting championship pillow.
Okay.
At the show.
Okay.
And he was getting
That's
air.
more
So
disrespectful.
and he was whipping it, and I was like, damn, he could have fucking. he probably could have beaten. This guy was hammered.
Yeah.
And he we
And
got in
they're
between them.
sober and extremely
Yeah.
strong and acrobatic, even though they're all like 85, 90 pounds.
Dude, this guy, Joe, I have no doubt that he probably could have taken this fucking hammered asshole who sucker kicked his boy in the head.
Okay.
But here's where my prejudice came in the situation. One of the small girls was doing karaoke out front. And then the other small girl
adorable.
came out and starts yelling, security, security. And I instinctively laugh because I feel like she must be joking that her friend is bad at singing and she needed my help. And then it took like 30 seconds before I went, oh, fuck. And I just went in and got right in between this dude and Joe.
Yeah.
And it was like, like I said, I was more just protecting him from getting locked up.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good in a random. You've been to that town in Maryland. It's not going to be good in a random county jail for a small black person in, in whatever that county jail is.
Yeah. Which also, you
think you could wrestle? That's going to be a problem for him.
I think it's a small enough audience, or I don't know if this does get back to him, whatever. I don't mean anything bad by it, but I think Jamaican Joe gay in real life.
A little Jamaican gay guy?
Yeah, well, the Jamaican
I
thing
thought
is
gay
an act.
people were like
The Jamaican
immune
thing
to
is an
being
act.
gay.
Well,
Like
he might
they
be
can't
of Jamaican
gay.
heritage.
Nah. Once the dreadlocks came off, I was like, this guy. And
He's faking the whole thing?
absolutely. Someone said that. Don't they call him that in the show? Yeah. When they call him like a Jamaican because they rip his dreadlocks off.
Yeah.
But he has
Still go
that,
to the show even though we're spoiling the
This
act.
is wild.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you not go based off of what we're
No,
describing?
this makes
like
me
a
wanna go
Jamaican,
now.
I would never be high and watch this. It would.
I'm gonna throw this
screw
out
it
Little
there.
people getting
years.
concussions and then
The end of that
10 years from
championship
now,
match-
Therapy.
murder suiciding their family? Like, I'm with that.
I don't know
This
that
is-
they can get concussions because of the proportional sizes.
Oh,
But
and they have thick skulls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do they really?
I don't know. It looks
Making
like
that
it.
shit up. I just
I mean,
believe
I
it.
would feel like they have very big skulls.
Yeah.
Or they have regular skulls. And
I
then their
will
little
say this,
body
though.
makes
That
it look
guy
bigger.
who was fighting him did not call them midgets like you just did, Dave. He wasn't as insensitive. He was calling him the N-word, though. It was crazy. Like, I was like, I've been thinking about this every day since. Imagine, so this is a small town in Maryland. Not a lot of people. I've seen the same people at multiple different comedy shows multiple times. I, at this point, know the entire... Shout out Perryville Fire Department, by the way. But this guy, like, imagine you live in this small town and you are blackout drunk and you wake up the next day with 800 text messages calling you the worst human being alive.
Yeah.
Your wife is already gone.
Yeah.
Like, she's not coming back.
Yeah.
You're the guy who had to be separated from the little people who were there to entertain the town.
Yeah.
By the way, it was also prom night, and there was people there after their prom.
Oh God.
And this guy,
What a show for those
this
guys.
guy was
Oh, yeah,
acting
yeah, yeah.
the most of a
And
fool.
you got to be there and watch this.
Yeah,
it was great. It was a great day.
Yeah.
Why did the grown man hit the little?
He was drunk and he took something personally.
I think the guy was probably just like, "Hey man, like leave us. We're done with the show. Like,
Yeah,
stop talking
because
to us."
I
Here's
heard
the
he
thing.
worked for the Wicked Witch, and he knew they represented the Lollipop Kids.
Here's the thing: you do get caught up in it. At least I know I
You're
did.
passionate.
Where it's like, we get it. It's a novela. Take sides. Cheer. Like
Right.
there.
No, this was
people-
after though.
But,
This was after
what
the
I'm
show.
saying is, people take on the character of being the heel.
Yeah.
So they come out and they woo
the
and
whole
piss
thing.
the audience
They
off
called
so
them
that
a
you
bunch
can
of
boo.
idiots, yeah.
and
Oh, so
say-
this guy that kicked him
so
was a wrestler?
they're developed.
No.
no,
Just a
the,
regular
the
person.
little
Just
guy.
a guy,
Yeah,
just a,
regular-
just a guy that was at the
Oh.
venue.
But and the guy who's the Elvis guy, he's kind of a heel. He's the
Yeah.
bad guy. So he comes out and he talks shit to the whole
Yeah.
audience, and he's encouraging you to boo and
Yeah.
all kinds of shit.
But to get to the other point, just to bring this up, how we got down this road was you felt bad when you realized there was no little people in attendance. That dude told me when we were just talking before the show, he was like, I was a coal miner for 3 years. Because he's from Tennessee.
A little coal miner?
I was like, this is a better
So he
gig,
had a
huh?
little-
He
so he had a
goes,
little hard hat with
man,
the
I'll
light?
take all the bumps you want to make me never go down a coal mine again.
Let me explain
Good,
something.
and they were all very cool people.
Yeah. So for most people who know me, know I'm an avid reader. Last year, I read Forrest Gump, the novel, as well as
How
there's a
how
sequel.
jarring is the first page of Forrest Gump if you've only seen the movie?
Don't they say that?
I've only ever read the first chapter of that book.
Or they call
because-
him a retard or something? It
A
says
lot,
retarded?
a lot. But one of the biggest differences in the book is they focus on Lieutenant Dan and Forrest go on a wrestling career circuit like that, where Forrest is the dunce and he makes a shit ton of money as a ridiculous wrestler. And in the book, this is the bad behavior. Jenny is actually a sensible woman who's like, I can't be with you if you're going to demean yourself this way. If you and Dan are going to run around and get in all these kind of antics.
Strong words coming from a person with AIDS. Very demanding. Like, bitch, you're going to die.
In the book, she's not just like some crack whore. She's pregnant and she does not tell Forrest because she's like, I'm not raising a kid with some fucking freak show, wrestler guy. Like, you're better than this, Forrest. It's wild. It's wild. But
I'd rather raise it myself with my low T cells.
I forgot about that plot. Jenny leaves, right, in the movie?
In the movie,
multiple
she
times.
takes off. She gets out of that small town life also. She goes to the big city.
Oh, my God. And does drugs and then comes back.
Forrest Gump, I feel like that movie created a bunch of simps.
Really?
Yeah. Because before that, who was going at, like, fighting for a single mother with AIDS?
Damn, I haven't seen this movie in a
He
while.
wasn't
got
fighting
curved.
for her after she was a single
He kept
mother.
going back to her.
Yeah.
She left him,
Dude.
no offense,
Yeah, but
for the Black Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. But Forrest didn't. He wasn't bothered by that.
Because he's a
and
simp.
Well,
They don't talk-
He saw what
Isn't he
color the
slow?
kid came out. He was fine.
he was slow.
Yeah.
But here's another big difference between the movie and the book. In the movie, Jenny does have sex with him early on, like college.
Doesn't he come on
And-
himself before they can even start?
But I'm telling you, in the movie, they break it down. He has the hammer of Thor.
Of course he
He
does.
is hung like any
course.
giant 300-pound
remember this.
retarded southern dude, and Jenny is sprung on him because he literally has the biggest cock she's ever had in her fucking life.
She's taking advantage of a mentally
gotta
ill
read this book.
person.
Yeah.
I want to
Dude,
read the book now.
The sequel is even better. There's a second book that
what?
never came out. It was called Gump and Co. And it's just about him. For his company is huge now. He's
shrimp
raising
company.
little Forrest by himself, right? And he's actually such a big businessman. It almost projects Trump being president. He runs for president because he gets to be so big. And he's dumb. He doesn't know what's going on. His slogan that almost gets him elected is, I gotta pee. And somehow America bites on to this slogan like, yo,
when he
man,
met the president.
yeah, I gotta pee
really?
too. You know
I
what I
really
mean?
have to
Like
pee.
they just registered as I gotta pee too. Fuck that.
are they coming out with a Forrest Gump sequel?
No,
On
they
movies?
never
Okay,
will.
maybe that was AI.
They
That's
never
AI,
will.
yeah.
They'll
I fall for
probably.
those all the time.
I'd like to see a musical. I'd go see Forrest Gump on Broadway. I'd take a limo to go see that.
Do you like musicals
Chet
live?
Hayes as
No.
fucking Chet Hayes as fucking Forrest Gump.
Oh, you make it like a
He's
Hamilton
disappointed
rap?
in because he's a
Rap
white rapper. like the Forrest Gump character being upset at his son for being a rapper would be so fucking funny.
Oh my God, right?
Just the people from Hamilton
Right.
and Chet Hanks
Could you
team up.
imagine having like a well-known autistic father that is disappointed in you?
Wild.
And like now he's an accused pedophile.
yeah.
Tom
He was
Hanks?
one of the first during COVID.
Wait, who?
Tom Hanks was one of the first
No.
people. Yeah.
No, he was the first person with COVID.
Yeah.
He was
Well, he was the first
confirmed
person with
case.
COVID, and then around that time, they were like, "Oh, why'd you move to Greece?" And they're like, "Oh, pedophilia is legal in Greece. Like the age of
No.
consent is like 12 or 13."
No.
out
Go
All
with
right,
that.
all right. I'm gonna need for you to get off of your milk crate.
there. Yo, Google
and
it.
take
I
your-
Googled it.
All right.
No.
I Googled it when it
Geo?
happened, and I was like, And then Drake has that song, "I'll Take You Out to Greece."
Let me tell you something, Gio.
Why does he want to take him out to Greece?
Most days I will stand in
Jorge,
front of
back
the
me up.
bodega and talk with you about almost anything.
Well, there is that joke.
Jorge, remember,
I mean,
this is
there
on
is
the
that
gate, back me up.
stereotypical joke
No,
about.
Tom
Back
Hanks
me
is
up.
not.
You've never heard that joke about Greek? How do they separate the men from the boys in Greece?
How's that?
With a crowbar. You've never heard that joke?
Nah.
They started that.
Yeah.
Well, they might have not started, but they were
The Spartans
famous.
used to fuck children. Like that was that's like a thing that just became a stereotype about Greek people in this country.
Well, that was that whole huge thing about who are those famous brothers, those rich brothers that killed their parents?
The Menendez
Menendez.
brothers.
His father that was his whole thing. That's
was
why he
Greek.
sexually
Yeah,
assaulted
yeah,
them
yeah.
because he was like the Greeks did it.
Yeah, which is weird because with that documentary now, everyone's like, free them. Free them. Which is like, all right.
Dude, Netflix can turn somebody like a villain into a hero.
Oh yeah, I'm done with
yeah.
Netflix. It's clearly for the stupid and criminally insane. Like I
Same thing
will
with-
walk away from a platform if I feel like the programming is beneath me. And yeah, Netflix is getting there. I walked away from Hulu because the program. It was
You
well.
went to a
I'm not gonna
wrestling
say,
show.
huh?
Prime and
You're
Max still
went to
got
this
it.
wrestling show, but Netflix below me.
Absolutely.
By the way,
absolutely.
they have a show that I'm pretty sure is on Netflix. It was on AMC, and I think it's currently on Netflix.
Yeah,
You might have
listen.
to
For
go
the
back.
little people wrestling?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, shout them out. I want you to understand, even though I'm calling them midgets, I can call them midgets if I'm supporting their business. What's the name of the business?
It's the Micro Wrestling Federation.
Micro
And it
Wrestling
is-
Federation.
I have worked a lot of indie wrestling shows. The end of the last match at that show, probably the biggest pop I've ever seen at an independently produced
Absolutely.
wrestling show.
Absolutely. And they have girls fighting. There's a huge one-sided fight there because they only have 2 girls, it seems, and one is much bigger than the other, but
She just
they
started
make it
too.
work.
Very sweet lady too. in
Yeah,
real life.
yeah, yeah.
She's
They-
You
very
know
like
who would enjoy the little people wrestling?
Derek.
No, the Greeks.
Let's bring it full circle.
The age of consent in Greece is 15 for
That's
both
the kids'
for both
coliseum.
genders.
So it's
15,
next to the
and
regular
then-
coliseum and smaller.
Google, does pedophilia classify as a mental illness in Greece or something? Where like you get charged with it, you get like therapy instead of going to jail. That's what. But look at that. Just the age.
They
of
should
consent,
probably
15.
give you therapy
looking?
in jail.
No, but I don't think you go to jail. It's like It's just like almost like a probation you get.
Yeah, I don't even know how to turn them up in here.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
So yeah, pedophiles, right? In Greece. So yeah, I think that when the Tom Hanks, I saw this conspiracy video and then I Googled it and it was like the first thing that popped up. It was like, yeah, you just
That's not true.
see a therapist.
Yeah, there's no way Tom Hanks.
I mean, dude, there were light on pedophiles in this fucking country for years.
I don't think did Tom Hanks get Epstein Island? Mm-hmm.
I think he was on the flight logs, but I think
Oh,
he,
really?
I think if he strikes me as somebody like me. He was there and he was like, "Oh shit, hey, when's the next flight out? I'm just gonna stay in my room. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like you know, and don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna
Right.
go back and
So do you think Drewski was
He was on the
culpable in
flight
these
log?
Diddy videos?
culpable.
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
A lot of
Well,
them
there was
probably
like
are.
there was something that went viral where it was just like him being like, "I left before all that happened."
Everybody was saying that. They're like, oh, I was leaving at 9. Because supposedly he gives a warning. He goes like, hey, so the real
freak off.
party's happening.
Right.
Send the kids home. Bye. And that was like the warning. And
Yeah,
let you know
it's like there's a certain.
there'll be some ass
I
fucking.
would say there's a certain hour of anything where you realize, like, all
Time to
right,
go.
You look
not
around
even that
and
your
you-
time to go. It's just like
Anywhere.
you can't even judge anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like I just went to a party this weekend. We got to the first party at 3 a.m. All right, so we were already kind of like
Too
when
late
you
for the
walk
orgy.
into a party and you come up the elevator and like people are leaving, and that you kind of oh, you got leaving already? Like you're in for whatever, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
when
yeah.
you leave that party and then go to another party at 5 a.m. where you can't judge anybody by what they're doing. I never forget I did a rap party for an independent movie that we did once, and it ended like the third after party was 7 a.m. on someone's rooftop in Brooklyn, right? At which point I saw people jamming cocaine into a guy's trach, and I'm like,
well, it's like a little keep up and blowing it in.
yeah,
like-
it's time to go, dude. Like, but I can't.
That's
ju-
helpful.
I can't judge though. I can't judge. It's 7 a.m. We're still partying. Like, go home, bro. It's not for you.
It's like, what do you expect to be up at that time in the
Right,
morning? Nobody,
right.
no
I've
sensible
never
person
in
is
my
still
life
up.
Ever been up that late?
Exactly.
Ever
Is that
in my
true?
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never broke night? Like just
Nope.
Here's how bad I was with it because I knew I wanted to go see the Jersey City Marathon Sunday morning,
actually
and
kinda fun.
I still went from the club. Like I left the club at like 7:16.
that's dedication.
And then just like pulled up to the finish line all hungover with sunglasses, smoking a joint. Like, yeah,
Reeking like
go.
liquor.
So funny.
Go!
You're at like their optimal moment, and you're like,
Look, marathon.
If I
means
walk, I'm
different
gonna
things.
throw
Proud
up
of you
right now.
so proud.
If I walk too fast, I'm gonna shit my pants and throw up. But you guys are doing it.
Oh, dude, I was like drunkenly looking through like the clothes that everyone drunk through. Like, it's a pretty good sweatshirt, right? I'll take that.
You're stealing the electrolytes for the runners.
Y'all got any more bananas over
Yeah, you
there?
got that
Huh?
goo? You got that goo over there?
Looking at the table of water, like, oh god,
Gatorade.
so far,
Yeah, I'll take a cup.
so far. Just going to buy them just to get the free drinks.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, to each his own. I guess to be committed enough to even go find it. You know what I mean? Because you know how we are as like straight
find
dudes.
drugs?
Well, all right, here, like sex. Like, I don't know how it is for ladies, but like straight dudes, we might try looking for sex on a Saturday night, but we'll give up pretty easily. Like, there's no chicks around here. Let's just pound some beers and play some video games.
I give up
And we're
usually by
done.
9 p.m. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, no.
Well, now at this age, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
right.
I've ended up in after-hours bars where you just kind of go, "Why'd we come here?
Right.
This is crazy. Why
Your
didn't we
dick
just
led
go
you
home?"
there.
Right. So for people to go
was your dick.
that
Maybe.
far,
I mean,
to
if
be like,
I'm drunk and people
And
are
alcohol.
hanging out, yeah. If I'm just drinking, this is fun. Like, but it's like, at some point,
But there's also, I feel like the closer you get to 40, that's when it starts winding down.
But see,
There's
that's
like
what I'm saying. Everyone who's on
16
these
and
logs
mid-20s,
are older than that. So maybe something happens in your 50s where there's like
it
a
kicks back in?
revigoration, or because they're so dedicated at they're like,
Or they're closer to death and they're like, yo, let me get this out of my system now.
Maybe
like what I've
they're
been doing.
goal getters. Like maybe they're just more driven than we are. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's-
I was just thinking about this. Like, which is first, the money or the pedo? Like, does money bring that out in you? Like,
Right.
are you talking about
I
these guys
think
that
they're
are on
like
like the cult,
Because
like
I've
the
always
logs?
said that about like when John Travolta kind of got in trouble. I'm like, I don't even think John Travolta was gay so much as he was just like, yo, watch what money does to
Right.
people. Like almost like
Oh,
proving
let's
to his
see.
homie, like, dude, how much you want to bet I can get this
Right.
guy to jerk me off? Like
yeah.
I'm trying to show you money changes people.
like a
you know what I
power
mean?
thing.
It's
Right.
true.
And it's like it's almost like it's a fucked up game that they're playing, but he's like, yo, I bet you $1, like Mortimer and them on 48 or trading places. I bet you $1 I can get this straight masseuse to jerk me off.
Whatever. I have a joke about this, but it's like you never find out about like them doing some other shit. Like you never find out about like some sort of making people knife fight at one of these islands. It's always pedophilia.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There's never anything like
Well,
like-
because that stuff they keep really secret.
Well, no, I don't think we would care if we were to find that out. Like, if we found out
But that's-
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves was a part of some New York underground fighting ring.
Would just be like weird.
That'd be cool.
Right. It'd be, but it's not a thing that we like.
Yeah,
He needs
so-
to seek help.
But
Right.
what
we should
if?
stop watching his movies.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
what if this
the
Fight
closest thing we
Club?
got to that was Michael Vick.
No, but what if this Fight Club?
Exactly.
And that was
with,
just
like,
hood shit.
But
Right.
what if the Fight Club was with like 14-year-old boys and he's just beating up little kids?
Well, now we're going back to
no.
But it's not.
Now we're
It's
going-
not sexual.
Like Kramer in that episode of Seinfeld.
it's like I could take on 6.
We're at the
Okay.
same skill
Yeah.
level.
He's
We
just like
also-
last week I did 7. Give me 8 this week.
Well,
I think
remember,
I'm ready.
Did you guys remember hearing about the substitute teachers that were doing that with kids in school suspension and
I
stuff
did,
like
yeah.
that?
They
They
have
were
them
like,
fight?
yeah, they just make them. They bring
Yeah.
boxing gloves. I'm like, here, you guys can just fight. And it's like
But
again,
that's cool though. That's fun.
I actually think that's
Yo, in school suspension is so fucking boring.
Well,
They're
here's
like,
the
yo,
other
put
thing.
on.
I guarantee you, none of the children who were actually in the fight club were the ones who were upset.
Yeah.
It was all like hearsay. Like they're
I don't
talking
think
to
none of the
res-
kids were upset.
Right.
The kids who watched it enjoyed the show. The
They were
kids who
only
fall
talking
got
to the responsible parents in the carpool line. Like, have you heard about this? Oh,
It got
it's
back to a
horrible.
parent, and the parents was like, "This is unbelievable," and they're like, "Mom, no, don't tell them that."
Yeah.
And then it was too late.
I don't
Same
know.
thing
I'm a
with
little
the-
bitch. Like, I saw some fights in high school and I was traumatized.
Really?
Yeah, I was a little bitch.
Girl fights or boy fights?
Both.
Yeah.
Girls was especially brutal because, you know, they're like
Girl fights
grab
bother
the
me.
hair and, you know,
Yeah.
slam. Guys are like punch. Girls are like,
I can't watch.
Okay,
girl
Okay,
fights.
so that's interesting because I've heard your joke about being a biter as a kid, and I believe
Yeah.
that to be true.
Yeah,
okay, so you were probably more aggressive physically as a younger kid, and then did you slow down on being physically
'cause the
aggressive as you got
drugs.
older?
because the drugs they
I was
put me
too
on.
high to
And
fight.
it slowed you
Yeah.
down. Wow.
When you're put on Adderall, you get real. Like, you
Ah,
just-
see, so your
yeah.
parents actually gave you a hand. You probably would be an insane fucking fighter right now. Like you'd be a
Could've.
professional, knocking
UFC.
bitches out,
Yeah.
but your parents
Look at me
fucking
now on
handicap
this.
you.
I could
podcast.
picture you with 2 French braids, tight top, knocking bitches out.
But y'all never seen the fight and you were like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
the first time I saw someone get like knocked out cold. You know what I mean? Like arms stiffed up,
Yeah.
or like they're still
a guy
like,
let a
punching
dog-
in their sleep.
It's
You
like
know
a
what I
chicken
mean?
with its head cut off.
Right,
I saw a
right.
dude let a dog out on somebody in Fort Greene Park in high school.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
I
I
saw
seen
it.
I
First
seen
time
a
I
dude
went-
get jumped in traffic. Like they were on the sidewalk.
Jesus.
We were stuck in gridlock traffic, and they beat the dude into the middle of the lanes, and he got saved because a car, like he crawled under a car, and the car kind of covered him up. That's up. And I'm sitting in my mom's car. It happened between. It It was like the lane over, so it was the car right next to me. He was just getting stomped the fuck out by and these were grown. These had to be like 21-year-olds. So these were big dudes beating the shit out of another big dude.
Damn.
So that's the first time I seen somebody get fucked up, like for real.
And that
Well, I was shocked. Like,
yeah,
wow.
okay.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing about seeing adults fight when I was a child was it was like at kids, somewhere an adult would always come in and break the kids up.
Right.
And then you wonder, well, who breaks up adults? And then you realize,
unsafe
like,
feeling.
games like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat made me realize, like, oh, wait, at some point, am I just going to end up in a fight to the death?
Yeah.
As an adult? Like, I'm just going to be in an alley and it's like,
It's just prison.
Well, basically, both people fighting have to get so winded that people can get in between them.
Yeah.
Is typically what happens in a grown-up fight. Right?
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, even to this day, like that's actually what happens. Is like people are not actually good at fighting, and you're in a weird situation, so you're like throwing wild, and nobody wants to admit it, but this is how every fight ends. Is both guys are starting to get tired, and then all of a sudden, all the people who haven't been fighting can break them up.
oh, yeah. I
That
never
is like-
forget, I saw a fight in a hair salon once, two big fat girls. And the one girl got the other girl down, and she was literally straddling her, right? And then they both just kind of got tired, and then she just... And they both just on
30
it.
seconds in.
One is just laying there, and the other one's just on top of her, and they both... And then you hear somebody, y'all finished? Huh? And then she's like,
Most times, titties pop out in a
Dude,
girl
y'all
fight.
finished
Y'all
is so
finished.
funny. Y'all finished is so funny.
Dude, but I think that's what, like, as you get older, that's what scares. Because when you're a kid, maybe for me, like, I wasn't scared of fighting. Because I'm like, you felt like you were invincible.
Right.
I'm like, I could take a punch from my parents. What is this person my size going to do to me?
yeah.
And then as you get older and then people fucking knock you out and start using weapons, then you're like, oh, let me calm down a little bit. Let me not get
I think
offended if
that was
somebody
the
calls
other
me
thing.
pussy.
It was for me. I was hyper angry and aggressive as a kid, and then I think as our finances got us around more equally, if not more so, aggressive and angrier children. You were like, all right, let's calm down before we get hurt. Huh?
Right.
Like,
You see like one kid, you're like, no, he's gonna.
it was okay when I was the one doing all the
Yeah,
damage,
yeah.
but you guys are really like maiming each other. I'm not.
I got my nose broken by like a 40-year-old man when I was 16. So it's like that was like really like, all right, I learned my lesson. And that's why I will always say children need to be hit.
Yes, yes.
Because I learned my lesson.
I would love to have a beer with that guy and just see if that story comes up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Once I punched a 16-year-old kid. It felt great.
Yeah, beat the shit out of a kid.
I was thinking about that when I was doing work on my house last year. I was like, I'll tell you about this when my hands got all like fucking strong from laying down hardwood floors and dealing with nails and shit like that. And you realize like, this is insane that teenagers always used to try to fight blue-collared men.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
trying to fight their
Oh, yeah.
stepdad or their real dad or whatever. It's like, that guy's a fucking roofer or like a fucking bricklayer. You're a 16-year-old boy.
You
Like,
play pickup basketball 3 times a week, bud.
This guy's lifting steel beams with his
right,
friends and
like,
shit
dude,
all
this
day,
guy
yeah.
will squeeze your muscles. Like, you ever get squeezed here in these
I'll
traps?
I'll tell you one though. This is a 16-year-old kid. My buddy D used to. His job was he would kidnap kids to bring them to boot camp for rich families.
Okay.
And so a lot of it was adopted kids who had angst issues.
Okay.
And he said he went down. It was him and another. These are 2 giant black dudes. And they said they went down there and they grabbed this kid. And they were like, this motherfucker was just locked in the basement for 8 months doing P90X alone. He's like, dude, you would never believe it. This kid was half my size. I grabbed him. I felt every muscle in his. It felt like he had 60 traps.
Yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
just flipped me. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
that Bruce Lee shit.
I always had respect for those white kids that I met like that in like those weird juvenile facilities and shit like that. That like they were just raised so different that the whole black thing doesn't that does nothing to them at all. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, I'll fight every last one of you. Come on. Yeah.
Like if I was here with my friends, I'll call you guys the N-words right now.
Yeah. Just
I'm outnumbered.
I never forget one time we pulled up to this kid's house that I had conflict with, and when we got there, it was raining, but his parents his dad had him carrying cinder blocks from one. He would just restack them, like a pile of cinder blocks. Do me a favor, move it over there, and he would just have to. And it was like drizzling, and this kid is outside with no shirt, just lugging.
It's
and
like
you're
that movie,
yeah.
The Last Castle.
Yeah,
Robert
yeah. It's like you
Redford.
don't
Go
stand
back
a
and forth with
chance
the
against
rocks.
this fucking
Turn around.
idiot.
Now put the pile back, bitch. He's got a rubber bullet, shotgun with rubber bullets in it.
Yeah.
Would you ever see? There was that weird case in Long Island where black kid shot a white kid, and the white kid's dad was like a biker, and he was like, "Man, my son deserved that shit," and they still threw the guy in jail because he was just like a hard dude. That's like how they got there. And like he was like, yeah, I'm sure my son was stomping this kid out. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's like so it's like that's and like they still threw the dude in jail.
Bro, that's an interesting thing to have to take into consideration. Speaking of Netflix,
it's
did
still
you guys
murder.
see
Still murder.
that last series, Adolescence?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, I've
yeah,
heard
yeah.
good things, though.
That woke,
Yeah.
that with the woke message that
I don't know what this is.
toxic masculinity is bad and could lead to men killing people. and shit like
Right.
that.
So basically,
Was
a
it shot all
14-year-old
in one
boy.
take?
Yeah,
Yes,
each
that's
episode was
the
one
thing of
take.
it. It's like a very well one-shot, 45-minute episode,
Holy
4
shit.
episodes. It's
Great
incredible
acting.
the way they do it. But the story is also incredible because it's a 14-year-old boy who's accused of murdering another student. And this is like a good school in the UK. They're all dressed like Harry Potter. You know, they wear ties to school.
Okay.
And, you know, the whole show, the 4 episodes, is the cops coming to school doing an investigation to try to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So you're also seeing how dysfunctional the school is as far as, like, these cops struggling to get questions and, you know, seeing how the kids interact with one another in school.
calling them
And-
pigs and all that shit.
Yeah, the kid, they're basically saying, like, you know, this kid is influenced by, like, the manosphere of podcasts, all of the red sphere podcasts.
They
and
mentioned
the
Andrew Tate. They
type
gave him a little
shit.
shock. They're like, you know,
Right.
that Andrew Tate bullshit.
But at
We
the
know you
same
love
token,
We know that's you're good.
but at the same token,
He stole my
you
whole
can-
act. I don't like that guy. I hate him.
But at the same token, you're finding out this girl is cyberbullying him.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So she is spreading rumors about this kid on Snapchat
okay.
that
Brutal.
in
He's
his
an
mind
incel.
at 14, he can't see the end of this.
He
Like,
can never escape.
Oh,
Right.
it's your whole world.
right,
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? So it's a
You've
whole-
never moved past a thing at that age. Like, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
constantly experiencing some level of embarrassment that
Oh.
you've never moved past.
You don't have
Oh,
your
yeah.
frontal lobe.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
now it's like kind of like, even now, worst case scenario, it's like, I just quit comedy and moved to a third world country with my savings. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
Like, it's like,
right.
Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's like you like you've moved on from groups of friends that were toxic or whatever it is. Everybody has, you know what I mean, in their life. And it's just like kind of like when you're that age, though, that's it.
Yeah.
You have no frame of reference.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't.
It's so funny. I was just thinking about this.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't
I
see past
remember
it.
getting, like, going back and forth, being bullied online, and it's like your whole, you just feel your whole world crumbling as a
Yeah.
young person.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't
So the
relate.
online thing was present for your
Yeah.
schooling. I sound like an
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah.
For your schooling.
I was literally just thinking
Yeah.
of looking over at you two, being like, all right, well, somebody experienced that here.
No, 'cause I was wondering if you guys had, but I guess not.
I didn't have a
Nah,
computer
our
until I was
bullying
25.
Was weird.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
it wasn't online, but it was definitely word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you couldn't live anything
Dude, if you were the
down.
stinky kid in like 3rd grade, bro, I remember there was a kid that was the stinky kid in his elementary school. And obviously nobody goes to the same elementary school, the same kids in high school in New York City. One kid was in this motherfucker, it was in our fucking school that he went to elementary school, just
And
he
that
was
was
the
it.
smelly kid again.
Oh yeah.
Like that was it.
Oh yeah. I can think of her right now. Big Hoagie Dirt.
Yeah.
I used to tell it.
We had a girl. I don't even remember her real name. We called her Big Hoagie Dirt because when we got to like 7th grade, she was big. She was like taller than all of us. So I'm sure she had like a big
Did
dad.
you eat a hoagie that felt in the dirt? Is that why you called her that?
No,
She smelled like
she
one.
smelled like onions. She
Oh.
and her mom. She would say her mom just wouldn't allow her to wear deodorant, but she was like a big girl.
Was she
And she
Indian?
went through
God, a
puberty. No,
girl.
she was black. She was just huge. She was sweaty and going through puberty. And then
Yeah.
like she had like braids like Meek Mill. Like remember when Meek Mill was like
Yes.
just the fuzz all
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
cornrow.
yeah, yeah.
The
She got her
nappy
hair done like
cornrows?
once at the beginning of the school year,
Oh.
and then it would just have to last all year for her. And it's just insane that her mom would make her do that. Like that was the craziest thing. I think some of the biggest bullies in my school were the actual kids' parents because like the
Oh,
shit that they would
yeah.
make you have to just like endure is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you selfish fuck. Like that is crazy
Yeah,
to
they
just
just
not
did not
buy
give
your
a fuck.
kid a stick of deodorant.
Right.
Yeah, because when I was in 6th grade, everybody there is like 12 years old, and there was a girl, like I think the only girl who had big titties and a big, like, you know, she had a body, and she stunk. She always smelled like armpit, and it's probably she doesn't realize, like, yeah, you need deodorant right now.
Oh no, she knew, and we would tease her. We called her Big Hoagie Dirt
Or-
Dirt.
I had a job when I was a kid, and it was like if we ran out of money. Like I had a job from when I was
Yeah.
11.
Same as me. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's like, so we ran out of money. It was like, you get your own fucking deodorant, then,
Correct,
kid.
correct.
That's it.
That was a weird thing because I got a job thinking that I could go get the clothes and stuff that I wanted. I never forget being 12 years old, asking for a pair of Michael Jordan shoes, And my mom was like, no, go ask your father.
Go fuck yourself.
And then I went to go ask my dad. And my dad was like, yeah, no problem. And my dad usually would say yes to shit like that. So I remember telling all my friends, like, yo, everybody wear your Jordans on Monday. I'm getting the Jordans this weekend, right? Dad, we go pull them to the mall. And he's like, what sneakers you want? I was like, those right there. And I remember they were $124. And he was like, we don't wear sneakers like that in this family, son. You know what I mean? And
We're gonna get you these Mighty Duck with the Velcro on it.
It's got a Perez.
No, it's $25.99, son. I can get you 2 pairs.
Look at this. Patrick Ewing makes his own sneakers, and they're only $39.
Oh no.
And they're for young black kids to not waste money.
Yeah. But by the way, those Mighty Duck sneakers with the Velcro is what bullied me into starting to get Air Forces.
Yeah.
Because I was still going to Payless, and I had these Mighty Duck sneakers that I thought were fire. I'm like, yo, these shits is fire.
Hakeem Olajuwon had Payless exclusives.
Exactly.
You're like 16. You're like, these shoes
No,
are
I was like
sick.
12. I was like 12 years old. And then I saw a dude who I thought was my friend from school. I'm like, oh, it's my best friend from school. And I see him outside with, I guess, his real friend. And then they're like talking, like literally whispering in each other's ear in front of me, making fun of my Mighty Duck sneakers.
Yeah, buddy.
And then I felt it. I'm like, yo, what you talking about? And then they just start roasting my shit. And I was like, wow,
give it
I
to
thought
'em.
you were my
Was it Mighty Ducks the cartoon or the movie?
the cartoon. Yeah, worse.
I'm not gonna front. I would wear those today. I would.
That's
Well,
what's
now
so
it'd be
weird
cool
now.
again.
That
Oh,
kind
Dude,
of
the
shit is
Ewings
cool.
came back and people are rocking them.
Yo, I
But
hate
the Ewings was always fire. Though.
I got a lot of shit for having the Ewings in like
No,
4th grade,
what because
dude.
you're white.
Right. I hated
That's
the
fair.
concept of even the fact of like high fashion now plays on all of the shit that they got made
Retro.
fun of for being
yeah.
poor. Like the whole Virgil Abloh movement in his off-white shoes with the little with that little red
Label
plastic
on it,
thing on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because you don't understand, back in the day, when you were poor, you would get Bobos, which were sneakers that didn't come in a box.
Yep.
They'd be sitting on a rack with that little
little
red
tie,
thing
yeah.
holding them together.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want these fucking shoes? And now
like Target now.
Now you pay $700 to have a pair of
Bro.
shoes that has that thing sticking on the side of it.
The first time I saw a
Still
famous
can't.
person wearing sweatpants that I'll describe as the sweatpants, the old man cut.
Yeah.
That's what we all called them.
With the
Like if you
elastic?
wore tapered sweatpants to fucking school,
Yeah.
anytime from elementary school through high school, it was a wrap for 6 months.
Absolutely.
Oh, you talking about on the ankle?
Yeah, if you wore like
What
joggers.
she's got on right
Yes,
now.
if you wore
everything-
those- if you
let me
were
tell
the-
something.
Oh yeah, the jail.
Everything
the
that white
jailhouse.
women
Yeah.
wear now is the shit that you would have got. They're having to wear your dad's old work jacket.
Oh,
All of these girls walking around with these oversized Carhartt jackets on. It was like, what?
Yeah.
You would have been
Ugly-ass
teased.
Asics
You're
on.
so poor,
Oh
you're
my
wearing your
God.
dad's work jacket to school.
Actually, we were just talking about this
so
in
true,
Philly.
Dave.
In Philly, what were it was obviously North Face, but other than that, what were there was like
The bubble
two-
jackets that were
two
famous?
brands that were allowed.
First Down was the big first one that came
First
out.
down is if you couldn't afford North Face.
Like if you
We
had a
didn't.
South, if you had a
North Face
South
wasn't a big
Pole-
thing for us down there. South Pole
For us,
was
that's what
kind
it
of
was.
like you kind of got laughed at a little bit. if
South
it
Pole,
wasn't
you
first
really get
down.
called the Mexican. If you
Yeah.
wore South Pole,
Yeah.
Paco jeans.
Paco jeans was a
Then there was some weird ones like Natural Down, which was like a spinoff. But
Yeah.
then Woolridge coats, it was like weird. You got made fun of them for a little while, but then when North Face became big and snorkel jackets were big again, the Woolridge was like the Philly version of the North Face.
Columbia was the one before the Columbia jackets.
That was
Yes.
very young.
was popping
That was
before.
huge.
Yeah, that was like late '90s, early 2000s, and then before then you had the Averex. I don't know if you guys know about those. You know about the Averex.
I've
when you were
owned 7 different Averex jackets in my life. I had an Averex jacket with the Brooklyn Bridge in red leather on
Now,
the
this is funny. You seem
You
like the
think-
guy, no, and this is just your look in general. If you're wearing an Averex jacket, I feel like you had a wigger for a son who's in jail now.
Yeah.
And you're just making
I'm not
use.
still doing it.
And you say the N word as a
But
term
you're
of
just
endearment.
making use of all of the clothes that he left in his room.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah, my son had all these coats. I don't know.
Well, I was telling him I had a jacket. I had one of the stitched leathers because my boy, who's so crack, who was too skinny and Dominican to wear it, was like, "Yo, Pa, I got this for you."
Yeah.
And I was just like, I wore it once, and like, just people were like, "You can't actually go outside in that." And I gave it to my uncle, who was like old enough, where he was just like, "This is a good coat."
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm talking about. When
Yeah,
people
yeah.
go, well, these are good coats. There's no need to let them go to waste. You know what I mean? It's like, Little
Dude,
old
it was
man.
a warm,
What do you
sturdy
know about
coat.
this 8-ball jacket, sir?
Oh yeah, that should have make you want to smack the
nice
shit out of a
hoodie.
bitch on the train.
I think I saw that guy recently.
Yo,
His
that guy's
face
still alive?
stands out to me.
And he's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
6'7".
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a classic. That always comes up in my timeline on the anniversary. It's like,
Yeah.
remember this?
Which is also
Dude, that's the black guy's killdozer moment.
that is also such a weird waste
saw
of a
something about
giant Latino. A 6'7" Latino just riding the train, smacking women. Like, wow, man.
Well,
you really-
I mean,
She tried to hit
it
him with
was
a high
justified.
but I'm just saying he missed his calling.
Wasn't
You know,
it an
that's like,
What's his
Oh, yeah,
calling?
for
right,
sure.
that's like if Shaq was still riding the bus in Newark. You know what I mean? Because he just never discovered basketball. Just this 7'7" mammoth of a guy in a work.
Just
you
in
know,
the subway being like, yo, air down there.
Dude, somebody heard that slap and ducked thinking it was a gunshot.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I was like, Jesus Christ. People justified it.
Her slapping him or the
Him,
other way around?
her getting slapped.
Oh yeah,
Why?
Because she
was
hit him
hitting
like
in the head
8
with
times
a high heel
before he
shoe.
did
and
anything.
she started it. She was just
He
teasing
kept pushing
him.
her away.
She was
and kept
teasing
going.
him because the jacket was out of style. She was drunkenly just
How old?
berating him. Her?
Yeah.
Probably like 22 or something like that.
To be fair, she was wrong because those had just come back.
Yeah.
You get in the midst of it, actually.
Yeah.
Before you hit him, you just need
Actually,
to
the
know.
8 balls, yeah.
Right.
But like Jadakiss mentioned it in the verse, they're making a comeback.
Yeah, but
You may commence.
Yeah. Dude, but you guys hear about Dominican Republic, that club that collapsed?
yeah. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, my thoughts is what I heard was that fucking place has been falling apart for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so greedy about the money that they still had the event, knowing that they had issues with the roof.
Absolutely.
Because it's Dominican Republic and you're not going to turn down on
It's
this
a
money.
very Dominican thing to do. Yeah. I mean, Chris, you're involved in a lot of local politics. I'm sure you've seen
This is a
a
zoning
lot of
violation.
Dominican barbershops, very shoddy construction.
Yeah.
like
It's
on
usually
some,
the
like,
size of a hallway.
None of this is up to code, and you guys are all just in here cutting hair all day long. Really, like.
Yeah. This isn't a gun store. No.
Why are you guys selling sneakers out the back? This is illegal. You guys don't have a permit to sell those shirts here. So.
Yeah, but I just always laugh at that. Or you gonna use the bathroom in a Dominican barber shop? You're like, did you guys build this yourself? Like, what is that back?
I've seen people build houses out there. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be out there when you're watching them, and it's like there's no tools. It's half the people are barefoot. And I'm like,
And then their dad comes over and goes, rebuild the house over there.
Take it all down.
but we don't have the money. So.
Yeah.
And then like you see the size of the place. Jorge, can you pull up a picture of the before and after?
How many people died?
Jet set. I think it's close to like 100 now.
It was 127 hurt. I went in
No. The number went up. It's close to 100 now.
Dead
Because they're
or
still
hurt?
finding people. No. There's more hurt.
I want to know.
I don't know. I feel like
it
it's
was
the
at
Dominican
60.
Republic. I feel like some people are lifting up rubble and laying. Hey, I'm hurt.
I know it's
think
different.
it's
sliding
All
I think you
under
could
didn't
sue people out
die.
there.
I mean,
Can you sue people out there?
No, you can. Okay. Yeah. You're probably not gonna get much though.
No.
No, you're not gonna get shit. But the place was fucking huge,
Yeah.
and you could tell like the engineer was probably just a fucking idiot.
Oh
Didn't
no!
he
You know
was
what I
doing
did
it.
hear though? That the roof was bad, and
It was on
instead
fire.
of taking it down, they just put a new roof on top of the already damaged, the fire
they
I
damage.
mean, I'm
Stood
sorry,
up.
but this is
Oh,
New
it
York
was
City.
fire
Like,
damage.
Yeah, it was fire damage, and then so it was already structurally not sound, and they just put another roof on top of the already.
So it is legal in New York State to have 2 layers of roof. So you can just put you're supposed to then rip it down. There's a lot of places that do not do this. And you're seeing like, because we had a harsh winter, there's like, particularly upstate.
Yeah. By the way, that
see-
noise started fucking with my head. I'm like, yo, is this shit about to collapse?
I know. I'm scared.
But like roofs are collapsing in places that had heavy snowfall this year because it's been so little snow the last few years that people are just adding layers to roofs. But you're allowed to have 2 layers of roof. And then by the time it starts leaking again, you now need to rip off both layers of roof and put up a new roof.
Interesting.
And so I thought maybe it was that situation where they were just like, nobody's going to notice if we just put up an extra layer of roof, and then it was just a weight thing. But you're
Yeah.
saying if it was fire damage, then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
still having people in it.
Yeah.
First of all, going to a club that you know had a fire recently is also fucking... That is the Dominican ass.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like when somebody dies from heroin and now all the junkies are like, yo, that's the spot to go, bro. That shit.
Yeah,
They burned the
take your
fucking
life
roof
and-
off
yeah,
there.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing stops Dominicans from partying, bro.
Yeah,
Because the like you hear people in the videos.
Certainly not noise
Going-
complaints. I found that out the hard way.
That doesn't exist out there. So you hear people like, yo, there's shit falling from the roof, like moments before. And you see people leaving the fucking club. Yeah, there you go.
this
so
is footage of the night it collapsed.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
That's when it
By the way,
collapsed.
this could be a Dominican club or Creflo Dollar at Madison Square Garden.
Authorities reviewing this video and others showing.
So
the
that's
moment
Ruby
the collapse
Perez,
at Jet Set
who's
nightclub
actually
around
played at some of my
12:30
family
Tuesday
parties and
morning.
shit. It was funny. As soon as he died, all my uncles are posting pictures with him. I'm like,
Wow, so the gigs just got better and better, huh?
no, this was whenever he was
Did
a
you
legend.
see it fall?
Yeah, that was the video when people were trying to walk out because the roof was falling, but
Wait,
it
I like
collapsed.
how they're watching, but still, talk about a performer. He's still like,
No, because he doesn't know what's
still
going
moving,
on.
but he's seeing.
No, it was a
He's
Titanic violin situation.
Right,
Yeah.
he's like, you gotta.
He
follow
turned.
through.
This is these people's
Sigue.
last bachata.
Sigue. Yeah, two baseball players died.
But I mean, do you think they'll look at that as like an honorable thing, like they all died doing what they love, or
Yeah.
is it like a tragedy? I mean, because like everyone in there was having a good time up until the very last second.
Until
You know
that
what I
first
mean?
cinder block
There's
landed
no
at the
better
foot.
way to go out.
Well,
if
there
you
was
were
a-
like fucking having the time of your life,
Did you see the St. Patrick's Day roof collapse where nobody died?
no.
Where is it?
That's,
pull that up.
That's a shame.
In New York?
No, it was in, I want to say Boston.
Okay.
And literally, like, it was people partying on a roof. The roof collapses on people below them. And I think there was no there was no
Wow.
deaths. There was
Yeah, because it was like a straw roof.
Well, no, it's just a bunch
No, it
of
was a
lucky
tin roof.
Irish people.
Right.
Yeah. It was St. Patrick's Day. They were hammered. They just went limp.
Yeah. But the crazy part too, there was people posting videos of them stuck in the rubble, and then they got found the next day dead. Because you know when you're moving shit,
yeah.
shit
Hey, you
starts
run out of
falling.
air,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So it's like you survive, and then all of a sudden you just hear, and then a fucking cement slab falls on you.
Fuck.
Yeah, because
love
one guy he was
tragedy.
like
Shit.
stuck in this the same. Oh yeah, I seen that.
No
That-
one died.
That happened.
No
that
one
was
died.
last
Not
year.
a single person. No, that was this year.
That was this year?
college.
Yeah.
This is like a college frat
Yeah.
house. The kid's smiling.
Yo, man, I would be so and this is how I know I'm getting old, because all I'm thinking of is as the owner of that house, like, fuck, man, fucking kids, I told them
Right.
the parties, man. like,
I'd
Like
be
the
the
one
guy-
girl still
landlord, or you
holding up
just
the
like-
bag of alcohol. Did you see that?
yeah,
He's like, slap the bag.
I'd be the guy who's high on weed and looking at them like that's gonna fall. And then when it does, I'm like, yeah, I fucking called it. I called it.
See, I'm like, okay, you want to know a time when I did get that fear and I ran the fuck out of there? Skankfest Houston, man. Skankfest Houston, like the closing night of Skankfest, and we're like all on the stage, and they bring all
yeah.
of the comics up, and we're all jumping
was-
up and
it
down.
was Boeing in
and
the
I'm
middle,
like,
yeah.
I'm leaving. Like I slipped
Yeah.
off the back of that stage so fast, and I felt like a fucking turncoat because I didn't take anyone with me. I didn't tell anyone or anything. I'm like, oh, that's
Buddy.
it. I'm done.
That's how the ring felt last year when everybody was on the
Nah,
last
the
show.
ring is a
The
bit
shit
built for
in the
it.
mid-
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was the
Yeah,
Houston
but
stage.
there was like
smaller.
80 people in that.
No,
shit.
you don't understand. The Houston stage was
Yeah, it
so
was a
much
problem.
smaller, and it was all of us up there, and we were jumping.
So the first year we were in Vegas, I was K'd out of my face.
Okay.
I remember that. You
'Cause
guys
I was,
offered.
I was doing a spritz, and then Lewis gave me a lozenge, and I couldn't get on the stage. I was like holding onto a lamppost, and some cop, just because I have blue collar white guy face, just starts going, "Oh, your buddy's gonna fucking die up there, kid." And I'm just going, "Oh God, I'm on so much drugs." Tell this cop to go away. And Josh Potter came over and just started being like, "Hey man, where's this thing?" And the guy like walked away, came back and goes, "Saved your ass, man."
Yeah, yeah.
collapsed?
You were having
Yeah.
a bad
No,
time.
but he
no. I just this cop. I knew it wasn't gonna collapse. I was like, he was like, "Yeah, your buddies are all gonna fight." He was just kept talking about it. And I was just like, I am in a K-hole, but standing. Like
I'm collapsing into this hole right now.
I may have
don't
been
care
like,
if they
I
do.
may have like left a handprint on the lamppost. I was
Yeah.
so fucked up. And like, just like, and like, I thought it too, but then at the same time, I was like, I've been in enough wrestling rings. There's no way a wrestling ring is gonna fucking break.
Right,
it's
right.
fucking fine.
Right.
No, but it was jumping up so much. I'm like,
There's a
in that
spring.
hole.
It was a wrestling ring. It wasn't a boxing
the
ring. There was
wrestling ring is a
spring
bit,
under it.
more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, this stage that we were on,
Like you
because
just left. You didn't stop.
Dude, it was a temporary stage.
There's
and,
a
like,
few
there was
times in my
70
life
of
where
us
I've
on
done
it.
that. I'm not proud of it. No, there's another time I did it, but I took out the people that I cared about. I was at
Hey,
a
babe,
party.
get off.
Yeah.
She's like, why are you ruining my good time?
Dude, I was at a college party, and it was like a white college in Philly, right? So like, we're there, and it's someone's apartment, and the party's going great, and these guys come in, but these were like hood black dudes who came in to sell drugs to white college kids, right?
Okay.
And nobody bought drugs from them except for us. Like we bought like a $20 bag of hydro, and it was also like our first time smoking hydroponics. So I got high as shit. Like, I'm like up against the wall. I'll never forget. You know that song, Alice DJ, Better Off Alone?
Okay.
Like, which again shows you how white of a party it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, at one point, that song was playing, and I felt myself blast out of my body and like up into outer space, and I'm like, oh,
You felt white for
shit.
5 seconds?
Yeah. And then I remember coming back and trying to get myself together, and I could see I was going to the bathroom, and the black guys were basically like, yo, man, we ain't making no fucking money, man. This is fucking ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit, dude.
Do you think somebody
gonna-
told them to come through because they could make some money? Obviously.
Exactly. And I saw them complaining about how they didn't make any money. And I'm like, I know how this ends. They're going to rob everybody in this party, dude. So I like really got my friends like, yo, we got to get out of here. I can't explain it, but we got to go. We got to go now. And I'm pleading with my friends to leave the party. And they follow me. We go outside. It's snowing. We didn't have any shoes on because they made us take our shoes off in the party for the hardwood
That is
floors.
a white party.
Yeah. So
Because
like,
what year is this even? That wasn't even in fashion back then. That you're doing this at a college party.
this was like 2000, maybe 99, 2000. You know what I mean?
That's
It's
crazy.
like, yeah, I was like a kid at this party and I got all high. And but I knew, I was like,
At a party's kind of wild to make everyone take their shoes off.
yeah. But I was definitely like, you four, come with me. We're getting the fuck out of
Leave
here.
the shoes.
Yeah. And I did it another time at a strip club in the Bronx.
So wait,
That would have been funny if they would have just stole everybody's shoes. They would have just left, be like, I'll take this.
Absolutely.
Compensation.
did you
That's
ever find
happened.
out about
You
that
were
party?
there?
That's what
Oh.
happened.
Penthouse.
Nothing. They were just having a conversation. Like, yeah,
Oh,
the
but you were
guy,
worried.
right? I just registered it the wrong way.
Okay.
Like, cause I've been around things where I've seen it get dangerous fast, and then I always regret it not saying anything. So now I'm like, let's just say something and let's just get it over and done with.
My buddy was at a party once, and a white guy tried to apologize to him once because he goes, he walked in and he was trying to get a Black and Mild from somebody, and he was like, "No blacks," and a guy was like, "No, man, it's not like that. We're all chill."
No, you're good. No, black and mild. Black and mild. Dude, the first time I got like high, like I felt it. I was at a carnival, and I went with my girl and her family, the girl I was dating, and I bump into my friend who was a Crip, and he's there with like 3 Crips from Queens that came out there, and one of my other classmates. And I went off with them and smoked, and then when it hit me, we were just kind of like all standing in a circle and nobody saying anything. Everybody's like looking at each other. And my first thought was like, fuck, they're about to jump me right now.
Oh, God.
That's all that was going through my mind for like 5 minutes because nobody's saying anything. Everybody's just sitting there stuck. And I'm just standing in this middle of a carnival, just out and just standing like this. Like, I'm about to get jumped by these Crips. By my own friends.
And you did not.
No.
No, not at all.
Do you still get
What happened in
paranoid
the-
thoughts like that when you smoke?
No, I missed that, dude. Like that high, like that
crazy
first
when you-
high
How would
when
you
you were
ever miss
young,
that?
like the first 2 years where you're high for 8 hours off of one blunt
Yeah.
that you shared with 6 other people.
But the paranoia.
But it was so much fun besides that. Because after that,
It's
I
the
got
hardest you
lost.
ever laughed.
Yeah, you're
That's
laughing
true.
at dumb shit.
That's very true.
You're just giggly. I don't get like that anymore.
Dave, what happened in the strip club in the Bronx?
Oh,
Was this recent?
no, this is a couple years back. A while ago.
Guy got hit in the face with a ping pong ball. Now he has herpes on his forehead.
Did it come out of a girl's pussy? Did a girl shoot it out of her
Third
snatch?
eye, his third eye just began to open up. No, it's infected, dude. You gotta go get that
it's
checked
like,
out.
my chakra. And you're like, no.
I think that's MRSA, dude.
Nah, it was me. This how long ago it was.
Hold on,
Chris
hold on.
Cotton was there.
Not,
rest
not
in
to
peace.
cut you off. You want to save that for the bonus episode? We're
Yeah,
running over on
actually,
time.
yeah. I'll tell you guys
fuck,
the
because you
strip
gotta
story.
pay to. You gotta pay to hear this
You gotta
Bronx
pay to
stripper
play.
story.
All right, and I got more stories. So if you're not joining the Patreon, what the fuck are you even doing? This has been an interesting episode. We didn't even introduce our goddamn guest. That's how
You're
good it
reading
is.
my mind. I was
So,
just like,
introduce
I kinda
our
like
guest,
that.
Well,
and then
you
we're gonna
never
do
know.
more with
we
them on the
we
bonus.
introduce
Patreon.
in this we introduce our guest at the end. Rachel Williams, give them your plugs.
Hi,
Tell them,
what's
let them know where you're
going
gonna be. Let them know where to follow you.
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at Rachel Williams with the R and the W switch. So it's Rachel Williams, which seems like I'm making fun of somebody saying it, but I'm not.
Boston
Asians.
people.
Boston. Chris Faga from High Society Radio, right here on Gas Digital.
Yeah, go check out High Society Radio on Gas Digital. And also, if you haven't yet, go check out Zach Amico's Morning Zoo, Zach's new show.
Yes,
Zach
sir.
is my best buddy. And follow me at Chris from BKLYN on Twitter and Instagram. Also, I put out a half hour of comedy a little while back called Burn After Saying. Go check that out on YouTube.
Nice.
Word. Dave.
Follow me on all social media platforms at I'm Dave Temple. Check out my other podcast, No Need for Apologies, right here, also on the Gas Digital Network. And come and check me out here more. Fuck Derek, he's not coming back, yo. He's taking over.
We're gonna switch Derek's. I'm gonna switch Derek. Both Derek's are leaving.
Oh yeah,
and
we
we're
should
gonna combine.
leave the two Dereks to their own vices. We should pair them up and let them work together on a podcast for like a month.
Yeah.
And just watch like nothing get done.
I'm like Derek. They're like Derek. Go follow your dreams of being a softball coach. Leave the podcasting to me. Now Derek will be back next week. Follow me on Instagram, Geo Perez 86. Subscribe to the YouTube On the Gate podcast. The subscribers have been pretty, we kind of plateaued a little bit. So share it with your friends. Follow me. I said follow me on Instagram. If you're in Atlantic City, April 22nd, I will be there at 8 o'clock. Come check that out. And tune in to the bonus episode. We're going to have a good one. We got a Bronx stripper story. All right. Peace.
Peace out.